the Kindle Scribe worth it? I've been trying this device for over a week now, and I would like to share my experience with you. So stick around. The Kindle Scribe arrived. I'm super happy about it. My daughter seems to be more interested about uh, popping the balloons there, if you want to call them, or bubbles, if you want. I am very happy with another new toy that I am reviewing. Hopefully, this will help me expand my knowledge by reading more books and taking notes on them, but also help me organize my notes for work as I have a lot of notebooks and the information seems to be going or laying around all over the place. The setup process was straightforward. It was fun to work on it, and you can see my daughter got interested eventually, and even after finishing this recording, she spent a lot of time drawing and trying to write on this Kindle. And the feeling was so close to writing on a piece of paper that I was surprised. I was super skeptic about it. I was expecting an experience like writing on an iPad or something, like a clicky experience, but the, like it was just amazing. Now that we got the unboxing experience out of the way, or the semi experience, I would say, I wanted to go through the whole video with you while I'm looking at my Kindle Scribe. So I actually used the device to brainstorm or to come up with the outline of this whole video. So this was an interesting experience and I quite liked it. The first thing that comes to mind is security. Now, I'm a security consultant by trade. So when I ordered the device, I was thinking, what if I lose this device? What if I lose the Kindle Scribe and it contains my notes for the last year or 2 or 3 years, depending on how long you plan on keeping this. I was glad to see that inside the device there is an option to set up a PIN code, and this doesn't accept 1234 or 1111, which is great. Now, of course, somebody would say it's the same thing if you lose a notebook. Why would you freak out over losing a notebook or losing the Kindle Scribe, but not over losing your notebook? It's simple. You lose one notebook, it contains a limited set of information that you're sharing with the world in that case. But if you have all your information collected over years on the Kindle Scribe, you don't want it to fall in the wrong hands. Now that we talked about this, I want to jump into the backup. Amazon has a solution called the Amazon Whisper, which I believe that's the same thing that's being used when you jump from one Kindle to the other if you're reading a book. The Kindle device, you're lying down, you're looking at it, and then it tells you, hey, on the other device, you are at page 20. So would you like to go to this page on this device? Which is great. So I didn't get to test or to see how that would work with the note-taking mechanism. This is something very important. So I'm going to continue looking into that because if you lose this device, you want to make sure that you have your notes saved right on the cloud or something. And you don't want to do it manually because you can do it manually. You can take your note, export it as PDF efficiently, and it will send an email. It will send you an email right away with your whole notebook, but it won't do the synchronization of everything else, which is something that I wish that we had. Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the downsides of the device. First of all, writing smooth notes, it's not possible. So you cannot have, like if you're reading a book, you cannot switch easily to a PDF or to a document that you're writing all the notes in it. It's gonna look a little bit butchered by basically when you review the notes. Looking at the silver lining here, all your notes are in sections that mention the topic or the chapter or something of that location in your document or in your book, and it shows you the page number as well. So at least when you export these notes to PDF, you're gonna figure out or you're gonna remember or be able to track down where exactly in this book you took this note. It's nice, but I would have rather had another option, which is to have a complete document that I'm writing all my notes in while reading a book on the Kindle Scribe. So here I just click on the note-taking icon, click anywhere, and then the box is gonna appear. It appears at the bottom of the screen or on the top, and you can click the three buttons next to the X. or the three dots next to the X, and you can move this little box. Now, the note-taking mechanism, it's pretty nice. It's um, uh, it's simple, but at the same time, I also tried that while lying down at night in my bed, and it was a little bit jabby. Depends on how you usually take notes. So I was just lying down, reading, taking notes. So if I decide to keep this device, I think I'm gonna consider getting a cover for it so it's less jabby. Nevertheless, it feels nice to be able to write on a like it's like paper note-taking feeling while you're actually doing it on the tablet at night. Moving forward, now I'm gonna exit this book. I'm gonna go back to my notes or notebook, I guess. I actually created the script of this video, something that I'm still learning, of course, as you know, like my YouTube channel is still growing. I'm just starting basically. And during the outline or the brainstorming process, I did all of that on this Kindle Scribe. And now I'm just going to add more notes so that you can see how simple it is to think of something, put it on a piece of paper, in this case, the Kindle Scribe, and this way you have it for later on. You're not gonna lose it because everything is organized in notebooks. I love that because I have a huge list of notebooks lying around, and of course, whenever I need something, I have to flip through all of them and try to find the information that I need. This changes everything. Another downside is that the device is kind of heavy. So if you're lying down in bed at night reading a book, you're gonna feel it versus other devices that you might have for reading ebooks. So I have the smaller Kindle devices, and after finishing with this, I grabbed one of my Kindle devices and the experience was different. It felt like I was holding a feather afterwards. Of course, you're gonna add a cover to this to protect it, most probably, so it's gonna add to the weight. So it's something to keep in mind. Synchronization wise, the Kindle Scribe doesn't give you an option to synchronize all your notes automatically to your cloud, I would say. When you have a OneNote document that you are editing on the iPad, for example, it's going to synchronize automatically through the cloud, through the Office experience. And you're going to see that document, even though it's not going to be instantaneous, but you're going to see the document eventually synced up into your OneNote while you open it on your computer. The Kindle Scribe doesn't have that. I would have loved to have some kind of synchronization mechanism so that when I write notes on my Kindle, I will be able to see them right away on my iPad or on my computer. Instead, you have to rely on exporting your document, your whole document, exporting it as a PDF to your email. Even though that's kind of like straightforward, it takes 2 seconds to do that, but then you end up with a lot of emails that you're sending to yourself or whatever in order to have these updated notes. It doesn't make sense. Another thing to be aware of with the Kindle Scribe is that it's not waterproof like your other Kindle devices. So you have to be careful with this. And actually, my heart sank when my wife was like, "Is this waterproof?" While she was playing with my daughter. My daughter was drawing on the Kindle Scribe, and the question itself, as I was lying down, relaxing, I was like, "Why are you asking this?" I realized, like, hey, this is dangerous. So you gotta be careful with this device. Now we jump to another thing that I noticed while taking notes lying down in bed is that a lot of times the Kindle Scribe took some input into the screen without me meaning to. So it would be like I would be writing a note, it would switch the direction of the page or something. I'm sure you can lock it somehow, or I hope at least. But also it would like change the page on me. I was writing a note, and my wife was also watching me, and she started laughing because she was watching me take some notes, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna talk about in this video? I'm gonna talk about this and this, and then like the page would just change on me. I'm like, I didn't mean to. What's going on? So she started laughing. Anyways, you have to be aware of this. Maybe the palm rejection is not perfect while writing and taking notes. Here's another test that I'm doing right here. I created a new workbook. As you can see, you can only control the thickness of the font, which is pretty limited compared to other competitors. On a side note, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video. Thank you so much. Moving on, Other competitors, such as the Remarkable 2, you can control the shades of gray of the font. While, of course, other devices such as the iPad or other or Android tablets, you can even have some vibrancy by choosing colors. But that's a completely different beast, I would say. So it's up to you how you feel about that. Simple note taking, is it worth it or not? Another nice feature about the Kindle Scribe is the ability to control the brightness and the warmth of the screen. So as I was testing this device, I would be lying down in my bed at night, reading books and taking notes, and this proved to be very helpful. And I understand that the Remarkable 2, as well as other competitors, don't have this feature yet. One cool feature included in the Kindle Scribe is that you can click on this button here and then you can see all the notes that you took throughout the book. So each time you take a note, it just adds a little icon in your book, but then you can go to this location and see everything that you wrote so far, which is pretty cool. And now that you're done, you're 2 clicks away from sending a PDF file to your email. That's going to include all the notes that you've taken so far throughout the book. Pretty cool. And now I'm gonna put the Kindle Scribe in standby mode, and that's it. What about traveling with the Kindle Scribe? I haven't tested that yet, but it just means that you're gonna add another bulky device if you wanna travel with it. And of course, like if you add the computer, the iPad, and other devices, in my case, I would take the GoPro, the drone, everything. It adds up to the weight that you're carrying on your back, so you gotta take that into consideration. And of course, you're gonna have to unpack all of that, like at airport security, which is already a stressful experience, especially when you look like me. Hello. That said, using the Kindle Scribe, I was able to immerse myself in the experience of reading a book. I was reading the YouTube secrets, as you can see from most of the B-rolls or the videos that shows me working on the device. I was really interested in reading this book. I was happy and was taking notes. It really allowed me to benefit as much as possible from my reading experience. Now, the thing is it really worth it when I compare it to my other Kindle device? So, I don't know. I was hoping it would be, but then I realized I can just type my notes on my other device. So, it's nice to be able to write with a pen, but as I said, like writing on a pen while you are in bed, it's kind of like jabbing into your chest depending on how you hold the device. So, just writing it using the keyboard on the screen itself, it seemed to be efficient enough. What would you use this scribe for? I would use the scribe for studying, for working, for reading basically books that basically are teaching you some kind of like skill here or there. So that's important because you're taking these notes, you're processing them, you're writing them down. And I feel that's just my feeling that when you write with the pen, when you write notes with your pen, things seem to stick more in your brain than just looking at a book, either passing pages or just writing notes using the keyboard. But that's just my feeling. Now, if you have other small Kindle devices, these are going to be much better for reading books and just chilling, taking things slowly. But again, at the same time, you can take notes using their keyboard. So is it really worth it? It depends on you. It depends on how much weight you are willing to add to your backpack if you are traveling, if you're going somewhere. Of course, this weight is going to offset the notebooks that you would usually carry. So that's a good thing, right? Like even if you add the cover, you're still removing the weight of these extra notebooks. I was gonna stop at that and say like this is enough for this video. But yesterday I bought the Samsung S8 Ultra tablet, and because I love taking notes that are colorful, that are synchronized across OneNote. I had the iPad before, I still have the iPad, but I wanted something with a bigger screen. And when you add the tablet and the protection mechanism, which is a cover with the keyboard in case of my Samsung S8 Ultra, the weight was too much. And for me, technically, I need my laptop because sometimes I do video editing as I'm traveling and I need a laptop with a good graphics card. But at the same time, I need to work as well. So I need to connect a VPN and I need to do some troubleshooting, which is in the IT, in the IT world, you're going to need a few tools that are not going to be just available, or at least the tablet is not going to be enough for you to do your work. So I'm going to be carrying my laptop, carrying the S8 Ultra, and carrying the Kindle Scribe, carrying the GoPro, carrying the drone. This is adding up rather quickly. So it's something to look at. Maybe I was complaining too much about the weight of this device throughout the video, but if you remove the weight of the notebook, and if you remove the need to have a tablet with you, if you know for sure you're taking a laptop, then this is worth it, right? I'm gonna stop here. I hope this has been informative for you. I hope I delivered some value. Please, again, do consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video. Consider sharing it, please, with your friends and family. And that's it. I wish you a great day. A cover. It's still kind of heavy, so if you are, uh, so it's kind of heavy. It's kind of heavy. I cannot. Now, let's talk about this. Voilà, voilà.